Hi everyone. I just want to add some suggestions from my own self about supporting adjunct faculty. And some of this stuff you probably have read about in the resources in this workshop, but it's just different, I think, hearing it from somebody who's been there before. So, one of the most important things that you can do to support part-time faculty is to notice them, to make them feel noticed, and to make them feel like it matters that they're teaching for your institution. A lot of times, the human factor gets forgotten when it comes to your adjunct faculty, the fact that they are people, right? And if you're at an institution that has a decent number of full-time tenure track faculty members, adjunct faculty members can feel very less than, even though they're high quality educators with a lot of wonderful credentials. One time I was training, actually, not really teaching, for an institution that had a real good number of full-time faculty members, and I was absolutely shocked at the quality of their part-time faculty. Like, I was wowed, blown away, really. And when I had meetings with the administration, because I didn't belong to that institution, I was just a contractor, and I was like, do you realize the talent that you have in these part-time faculty members? You got to tap into that. And the same thing is just to notice what they bring to the table and call them out on it and say, I'm noticing that you are really active with your students. I notice that you are establishing a great rapport with your students. Whatever it is, notice it and let them know that you see it. Another thing that you can do is, if you notice your part-time faculty have a specific kind of talent or skill in the online classroom, see if they'd be willing to share it with other people. That will make them feel very noticed, make them feel part of the institution, because you're having them teach something that they know to other faculty members, including your full-time people and other staff members. Granted, you don't have to pay them for it. I guess if you have the money, yeah, definitely give them a small stipend. But if you don't have the money, sometimes just the recognition of being able to do this and support the institution in that way is enough for faculty to be able to do it and say, okay, I would totally do this. Another thing that you can do for your faculty is to give them a little bit of freedom. I know, especially in for-profit institutions, that freedom's just not there. Like, courses are already created, the stuff's already there. And the faculty member's kind of just there to grade and to make sure students are doing well. In those kind of circumstances, it's kind of cold, and it's kind of like the faculty member isn't really there because they are an expert in that particular area. They're just there to kind of be a babysitter. You're gonna have to excuse, there's a scooter that's gonna drive down the road in just a second. I'm absolutely recording this outside. It is a freezing cold day here in Southwest Virginia, but I preferred to record this outside because I can't record it at home, and I don't want to record it in the library. There's no privacy there, so I'm outside, and people are probably like, what is this lady doing, talking to her computer outside? I don't really care. This is important. Anyway, give them a little bit of freedom if you can give them some freedom. Sometimes part-time faculty actually like the fact that they don't have to spend time designing courses. But even if the course is pre-designed, if there's an ability for you to allow these people to personalize it a little bit, whether it's creating some instructional videos or adding their expertise in something else, but allowing a little bit of flexibility with the design of the course, I think will go a long way with part-time faculty. Making meetings and things mandatory is really hard on part-time faculty because a lot of them either have full-time jobs or they're adjunct teaching for multiple institutions, so they have all these demands on their time. there's got to be a way to motivate them to be more active and participatory. I don't know what the answer to that is. I think it's going to depend on your faculty. I think it's going to depend on your relationship with the part-time faculty, how many of them there are, that kind of thing. Including them in all professional development opportunities is also super important. Make sure that they have just as much access to professional development, instructional designers, instructional technologists, all those people that everybody else does. It's super important to develop your faculty as much as possible. Now, whether or not they participate in it, who knows? But maybe you can find a way to incentivize participation in professional development. One way that you can do that is if you have a system that can keep track of what people attend, maybe you can give them a special badge. One system that I wanted to develop at a previous institution where I worked, I never got to because I left, but I thought about having like bronze and silver and gold badges for professional development. And, you know, what those levels are was to be determined, but I really wanted to honor faculty who sought professional development. And so maybe that's a way that you can do it. This wind is absolutely freezing, and there are leaves like flying all around me. But you know what? This is part of making instructional content, is you don't always have complete control over what happens around you. And so this is an example. Anyway, I hope these ideas are helpful for you. They're not all inclusive, but they're the ones that I kind of had on my mind and I felt like sharing with all of you.